My mother, I remember her warm body next to me. And the next thing I remember were hands grabbing at my body and pulling me away from her. And my mother crying out for me. And I cried back. And nobody would listen. I was so scared. And they put me into this really small room all by myself. And they gave me this food. It didn't taste right. It wasn't my mother's milk. It wasn't what I wanted. And I wanted my mother. I was just so terrified. And time passed on. And something beautiful happened. And I became pregnant. And I felt this life growing inside me. And for 9 months, I carried my baby. And I remember when he was born, and he looked up at me with the most beautiful brown eyes. And I fell in love. But then they came. The people, they came and they took him away from me. They took away my baby. And they grabbed his legs and they dragged him across the ground. And he was gone. And this happened to me year after year. Becoming pregnant, giving birth, and my baby's taken away from me. Until I could no longer give any more milk. Until I could barely even stand. And that's when they put me on this truck. And I was on it for a really long time. I didn't have any food, any water. They brought me to this really large building. When I went inside, it had this horrible, horrible smell. And I could hear crying and screaming. It was just so horrible. And then they brought me into this room. And when I looked on the floor, it was covered in blood. When I looked at the ceiling, there were chains. And before I could try to run away, they grabbed me. And they put the chains around my legs. And they hung me upside down. This person came towards me with a knife. And he cut my throat open. And I watched the blood spill out of my neck onto the floor.